In this tutorial, we're looking at the four-step mediation process, and that's on this middle tile. You can minimize the sidebar by clicking here, and you can also make it full screen by clicking F11 on your keyboard. We start the four-step mediation process with the statement of intent, and in this statement of intent, it's the joint statement of intent between Brad and Janet. Brad and Janet wish that this property settlement agreement be intended to provide a framework for a just and equitable division of property, etc. You can also make this window full screen by clicking maximize there, and it goes up to taking up the full screen, and you can bring it back to the normal by clicking that. The first step in mediation in the four-step process is assets and liabilities. Brad, you list off all the assets, superannuations and liabilities, and then each party puts down their value for each item, and in this case Janet has put down her list of values for each item as well. You can see the two top items. Brad says the house in Denton Drive is worth $640,000. Janet says it's worth $600,000, and the unit in Denton Street, Brad says $350,000. Janet says $300,000. When these two numbers agree or match, it will fill to the agreed column. So if we put Janet there up to $640,000, it automatically fills to the agreed column. The same with, we'll do it again here. If it goes to 300,000 and they both match, you click enter, it will automatically fill to the agreed column. You work your way down through the list. If you can't get an agreement on a particular value, you make a note over here about method of reaching an agreement on the value of the item. The goal is get agreements on all of the values, and down here you'll end up with a net worth value, the agreed net worth, which will match what Janet says the agreed net worth is and what Brad says the net worth is. You can save that page by clicking save here. You can also click print here, and that will print a table here for you. You can and print. The next step is past contributions. Who brought what to the relationship and what did they acquire in the time that they were together? You can place the year down in this middle column, and here list off what was prior contributions, direct, indirect, financial and non-financial contributions. Over on this side for Janet, you can list off prior contributions. The cohabitation date comes from the information entered in the case dashboard, and list off Brad's contributions during cohabitation, and list off Janet's contributions during the cohabitation period as well. Date of separation is filled automatically from the dashboard, and you can here put in any post-separation contributions from the parties. Move on to step 3, future needs. And in future needs, it's got all of the clauses that are in the Family Law Act. If you just click on the heading, you'll get a pop-up with that particular clause in the Family Law Act, and you can work your way down through that. Brad's future needs on this side, Janet's future needs down this side, and you can work your way down through that. Step 4, divide the property in a way that is just and equitable. So the agreed values are in this column down here, and the sliders are set to 50. So you can adjust the slider across or either way to divide the property, but the default is 50. And here it's got the value to each party and the percentage split to each party on each asset. So if we moved the Denton Street property across to Janet's side of the ledger, you'll see it's 100% Janet, 0 to Brad, 640,000 Janet, 0 to Brad on the Denton Street house. We move the unit in Crampton Street across to Brad's side, and the same thing will happen here. 300,000 there in Brad's column, 100% to Brad. The Ford Ranger we'll put over here to Brad. Toyota Corolla, we'll move it over here to Janet. The Suzuki motorbike we'll give to Brad. Brad gets his camper trailer. And the Telstra shares to Janet. Brad wants to keep his super. Janet wants to keep her super. The mortgage on Denton Street, well, that goes with the house, so it goes over this side. And Brad's got a Visa credit card, and we put that over onto his side. There it shows now a property split that is about 46 or 45.87 to 54.13. Maybe they're wanting something more like 60-40. So if Brad was to move some of his super across, half of his super, what would that look like? That's close to 59%. If we just use the arrow keys, we can go a little bit more, and there we've got basically a 60-40 split. You click save on that, and then we can move to the next sheet, which is the table of settlement, and there you can print off your table of settlement there, or it might be just a proposal. So we have a drop down here, table of settlement, and this is settlement proposal number 1, and you can print off that as a settlement proposal.